Well, the atmosphere certainly building up here at Bendigo. The horse is about to come into the mounting yard. Joining us now from Channel 10 in Melbourne, Ted Ryan.
Good afternoon, Alan. Afternoon, Phil. I've got sunglasses and microphones. How are you, Philip?
He looks the part too, Philip, doesn't he? Doesn't he? He's been out and about the traps. Have you got a winner for the Cup, Ted?
Well, honestly, I was talking to Jack McCreel just before the race, and he's very, very confident of the cold deck. But I remember talking to Chrissy Barrett a while ago. This horse doesn't handle weight that well. It's got a fair bit of pudding, 55.5 kilos. But they said it's done everything right, and the stable is very, very confident.
What's your other tips and dangers in the race then?
Well, you've got to pull in Ryan Guard. He's a very good horse. Going his fourth in the Tats Cup in Sydney over 2,400. Then I saw him run fourth at Werribee. That was another big run. And then he wasn't said to wait for age in the Queen Elizabeth Stakes. So I think Ryan Guard must be very, very hard to beat. Possibly one down in the weights if there's any upsets at all could be Sai Lai, which will be ridden by Darren Gouchy. Was a very good fifth at Flemington the Grey Smith last start.
Well, stay with us, Ted. We're going to have a look at the horses in the mounting yard now, and I'll get Philip to give us a quick look at the form. And number 1 in the book is Gold Deck, which is trained by Jack McGreal at Mornington, and the rider is Mark Riley.
OK, well, it won last year here, as Ted has just mentioned, with 50 kilograms. It looked good when fourth behind I'm a Red Man in the Kyneton Cup. That was on the Wednesday of the Melbourne Cup Carnival, but it was over a shorter distance. It is the main chance, but I just remind you that it's carrying 5.5 kilograms more this year than it did last year.
Well, it's been quite a few years, Ted, since someone has won the back-to-back Bendigo Cups.
Yes, I think it was something like Most Regal back in 1952-53 that won back-to-back cups, and that's going back something like 30-odd years, Alan. So it's a pretty big effort.
Ted, you were at Kyneton last Wednesday. Were you impressed by the run when he made that fast finishing fourth?
Oh, definitely, definitely. As Phil said, the journey here today, the extra 200 will suit Gold Deck. He looks in magnificent condition, as you can see there on your screen at the present moment. But Phil said he's got a lot of weight, and he goes up 5.5 kilos on his last win. But a most impressive run, but weight is there, 55.5.
Let's pick up number 2 in the book, Ryan Guard, trained by B.R. Mills, a New Zealand trainer in Bendigo under the care of Jack Hearps, and the rider, the veteran Bobby Skelton.
Well, this is showing about each way odds at the moment. And I know Bruce has mentioned Ryan Guard, Ted has, but when you look back to Ryan Guard's run in the Queen Elizabeth Stakes, it was 8th behind Colour Page and a long 8th behind Colour Page at Flemington last Saturday. And if you look at that run, it was just a run. Now, it may find this a bit easier. I'd say it has a show, but I don't think it's that strong.
Yeah, but that was a weight for age race, Phil. This is a handicap, and he's going to be better suited, I feel.
Number 3 in the book is Arato, trained by Bill Strosh out at Sedgwick. Golden Gary Willits is the winning rider. We hope for some very good friends of ours in Tom Powney and Phil Armitage. It's a Bendigo-owned horse, Arato.
Well, Gary's a top rider. Arato's regarded as a useful middle-distance runner, but doesn't appear, in my book anyway, to be up to this. I think it might have preferred a rain-affected track.
Yes, I agree with you, Phil, for sure. I don't think Arato can beat these.
He made a run on the turn at Kyneton last week, but he faded quickly in the straight, Ted.
He'll be better suited by the longer straight, but I think the top 2 look too good for him for mine, Alan.
Number 4 in the book is Brown Bomber from the Jeff Murphy stable at Caulfield, and George Evagora is the rider.
Well, this is the one I've backed only because of the odds, I think, because I know Jeff has the other one in Sai Lai. But it ran home well to beat Charge d'Affaires over a shorter trip at Yarra Glen about a fortnight ago. It's not what you'd call the most reliable runner, and it'll find this a lot tougher. It's the one I've backed, but only because of the odds, Steve.
Well, I tell you, when it looks, Phil, it's going to be very, very hard to beat. Jeff Murphy's got it looking in great trim. I differ a little bit with you, Phil, because I thought it was a pretty good run at Yarra Glen in the open handicap. It'll appreciate the extra little bit of distance here. George Evagora, the young apprentice, is riding very, very well for Murphy, and he will have the run of the race from barrier 1 and well in underweight for age at 51.5.
Well, how often do you find that the unfavoured one out of the stable, or the second favoured one out of the stable, comes home?
It's time and time again, Phil.
Let's go now to number 5 in the book, and that's Admiral Ball from the George Hanlon stable at Epsom, and Philip Alderman is the rider.
Well, Admiral Boy is a little bit above each way odds. It's racing pretty consistently. It was 5th behind Rheingard in the Canberra Cup about a month ago. It is a chance. It's certainly not the roughest, but 5th behind Rheingard. How would it place it here?
Well, Phil, to go on its run at fourth at Flemington over 2,000 metres, I thought that was a pretty good run. On a slow track, Robbie Griffiths was aboard behind Past the Hat. Now, George Hanlon's got this. He won the Kyneton Cup last week with I'm a Red Man. It's pretty well in, and Phil Alderman's riding very well at the moment. And have a quick look at him, Phil. He's on the right of our screen there. He's looking very, very nice over here, number 5. He looks in tip-top condition, and George Hanlon knows how to put that polish on them.
I'll tell you what, you won't be able to miss it in the running with the check blinkers, will you?
Yes, looks great, Phil.
Now to number 6, Amelia's Pride. Brian Dean is the rider. It's locally trained here at Bendigo.
Well, it won its last win, I think, was November the 5th up at Tatura. I don't know whether you could really consider it.
Not for mine, Phil. Not in this company, or she in this company. Chestnut Mare, a 4-year-old, but would have to get the final leg, in my opinion, to trouble these.
Sure it's a she?
Yes, a Chestnut Mare, Phil. I'll check that out.
Number 7 in the book is Wholesome from Brian Ralph's stable at Caulfield, and the in-form Michael Clark aboard.
Yeah, Michael might be in form, but Wholesome's pretty unreliable, I think. Ran 9th in the Geelong Cup. It was pretty wet that day. I don't know how it'll front up here today, Ted, with the drier track.
Well, I feel he's had more tries than a rugby player, Phil. He's been around time and time again. He's had 61 starts. He's been placed in 17 of them, but I think he's lost all form, Wholesome, and I don't feel that Michael Clark's going to be his day in this race.
Down to number 9, Silai from Jeff Murphy's stable at Caulfield, and Darren Goucher. We've already ridden 2 winners here on Cup Day so far.
Yeah, well, a good chance. Has a top jockey. A much improved run, went 5th behind Cuba's Gold at Flemington on Saturday. Silai has won over this distance in restricted class at Geelong just recently.
Yes, as you said, Phil, Darren Goucher aboard. It's a nice type, Silai, and as you said, it's the number 1 pick from the Jeff Murphy stable, but generally half the time the second pick gets up. But I was very impressed with its 5th behind Cuba's Gold on Saturday. Ideal for a race like this, and it must be rated a very good each-way chance, Silai, Phil.
Now down to number 10 in the book, Impertinent Charge. Jamie Anstis is the rider.
Yeah, 3rd out of 5 at Tatura, 2nd out of 6 at Tatura, and last at Kyneton on the 21st of October. I don't think that form's strong
It'll
enough.
be running against me, Phil, for sure. I couldn't have it winning this Impertinent Charge.
And the bottom weight in the field is number 11, My Tristina. It's ridden by Craig Dinn from Rick Hall-Lacey's stable out at Epsom.
Well, 11th of 16 at Flemington on the 8th of November. Go back to the 25th of October at Moonee Valley. Last of 14. Form not good enough. Been too disappointing.
No, they're all trying to say this. Another one by Sir Tristram. It's an old saying, Phil. Shane Gill's sister couldn't swim, so it doesn't mean anything on breeding, and you couldn't have My Tristina troubling these.
And there we have the runners in the Mercedes-Benz 1986 Bendigo Cup. We'll be back right after this break.
Tonight.
Welcome back to Bendigo Cup Day. And Phil, the big one, not far away now. What a great atmosphere, the crowd building up.
Well, yes, it's over 2,200 metres. The starting time is 10 minutes past 3, and I think we have the maximum crowd here that we're going to get. And look at them crowding onto the rail down there near the starting gates. Now, the starting gates are how far down? About halfway down the straight, aren't they?
About 250 metres down. They're straight out from the tent area in the car park there. So a lot of people down there having luncheon and drinks throughout the day, and they get a great view of the Bendigo Cup start. Well, a couple of the important jockeys with mounts in this race are the rider of number 1 Gold Deck, Mark Riley, and as Bruce mentioned earlier, Silai is a big tip on course, and his rider is Darren Goucher. Here now, talking now with Ted Ryan.
Well, Mark, how's Gold Excellence done since he's won a good 4th at Kyneton Cup?
He's done quite well, Ted. I think Jack's quite pleased with him, and I am myself too.
He's going for his 2nd cup in a row, so as you said, he's done everything right. He's worked well during the week?
Yes. Today's track, I suppose, would suit him better than what he has been racing on, and as I said before, he has done quite well. Looks very well himself, the horse.
Well, Darren's a good handy rider to pick up Silai at the last minute, a good winner at Geelong.
He won pretty well at Geelong. It was a heavy track there, and he seemed to fight the horses off pretty well. And his last run at Flemington, well, fairly good field. He ran 50 Cuba's Gold, and form looks pretty good.
And he's pretty well on the weights too, and barrier 3.
Yeah, well, he's only got 50.5 today, and barrier 3. And if he runs up to his last run, I'm sure he'll run a big race.
There's Darren Goucher talking with Ted Ryan, and the horses assembling behind the stalls. Phil, just one scratching in the cup this year?
Yes, number 8 is the scratching, No Kundra. was scratched earlier, leaving the field.
Well, there's Bobby Skelton aboard Rhine Guard, and Bobby will certainly be hoping his luck continues. He's had a disastrous last couple of years, and he had a win down there in Gippsland yesterday. He'll be hoping.
Yeah, you won't be short of an interview. Ted Ryan's going to interview them straight after they get back into the mounting yard, isn't he?
Well, there's a great camera shot of the barrier start, and the horses going in for the Cup. So let's take you up to our race caller this afternoon and say good afternoon once again to Bruce McAvaney.
Yes, thanks very much, Alan. It's a great view from here. We see Wholesome going in. Splendid day. Absolutely perfect. Rhine Guard comes up. Very big crowd, as you both mentioned. Favourite Gold Deck, hoping to win it for the second year in succession. Here's My Tristina about to come up. She seems to have lost all form in the Rick Hall Lacey stable. And then Impertinent Charge, and they'll be on their way for the 1986 Mercedes-Benz Bendigo Cup. So Impertinent Charge in. Brown Bomber, the rails runner. Sea Lay is drawn 3. Light on. Set to go. Wholesome just standing awkwardly for Michael Clark. Ready, racing. Jumped pretty well. Rhine Guard a touch slow. Admiral Boy away well with Brown Bomber, and Soleil tucked in behind them from Marato Gold Deck. Wholesome, no speed on at all. Then Amelia's Pride, Rhine Guard, My Tristina, and Impertinent Charge. Well, they're walking at the judge the first time. Brown Bomber led Arato. Moving up 3 deep, Amelia's Pride with Rhine Guard 4 deep. Admiral Boy, Gold Deck, My Tristina, Soleil. Impertinent Charge back towards the rear as they go out of the straight with 1,800 metres to run, and Wholesome back with them. They're trotting early, and it's Brown Bomber taken on now by Amelia's Pride. A half to Rhine Guard, 1 to Admiral Boy with the run of the race from Arato. Gold Deck's nice and handy. A length Soleil the inside. My Tristina's trapped 3 deep within the centre. Impertinent Charge, and a half length away Wholesome. 1,500 out. Amelia's Pride hanging in, pulling, and Rhine Guard's joined at a length and a half. Brown Bomber settled all right. 1.5 to Admiral Boy, travelling all right. A half length. Here's My Tristina going around them. Din stalling it up to 4th placing. Then Arato. Gold Deck will be improved with the speed clapped on. Impertinent Charge, Soleil the inside, and 1.5 to Wholesome. Rhine Guard took over at the 1,200 from My Tristina. On the fence, Amelia's Pride. 3/4 to Brown Bomber, 1 to Admiral Boy. Then the outside, Impertinent Charge from Arato, Soleil. Second last, Gold Deck, and 2 to Wholesome. 1,000 out, My Tristina the outside. Rhine Guard the rail. A length and a half, Amelia's Pride, Brown Bomber. A length and a half to Admiral Boy on the inside of Impertinent Charge. Soleil the inside, 3 deep, Gold Deck. In the centre, Arato, and 2 lengths away, Wholesome. 700 out, they start to accelerate. Rhine Guard and My Tristina by 2 lengths, Amelia's Pride, Brown Bomber. Gold Deck improving 3 deep in the centre. Impertinent Charge, Admiral Boy the rail. Soleil the fence. Gouchy's about to hook out on it from Arato, and 2 to Wholesome. On the turn at the 450. Rhine Guard about a neck in front of My Tristina. 3 deep, Brown Bomber. 4 wide, Gold Deck. 5 wide, Soleil, and getting a run through is Admiral Boy in the straight. Rhine Guard took the lead. Going for rails run, Amelia's Pride, and Admiral Boy with a good run, and here's Gold Deck and Soleil hooking out Arato. Rhine Guard in front of Admiral Boy. Gold Deck coming at them quickly. Soleil down the outside. Admiral Boy and Gold Deck. Gold Deck took the lead. Soleil coming at it strongly. Soleil coming at Gold Deck. Gold Deck just in front. Soleil bobbed it, I reckon, got up Gouchy. A nose and Impertinent Charge not far away, and there wasn't much room in the straight, I'll tell you. Then Admiral Boy behind those horses. Further back on the field was Wholesome and Brown Bomber as they go behind the judges' tower. Back with those horses also would have been Amelia's Pride and My Tristina, and Arato was in that group of horses. Now this is a great finish. I fancy Soleil's got up on the outside. I reckon Soleil's got up and won a nose on the outside from Gold Deck and Impertinent Charge, but you look at Soleil and Impertinent Charge as they come at Gold Deck. Admiral Boy is in front at the moment. Now Gold Deck's taken over. Impertinent Charge was hard to see in the centre with the gold cap, and Soleil right down the outside, and they're going to hit it together. Gold Deck's just got Admiral Boy beaten. And look at Impertinent Charge. The boys had to almost stand up in the irons for a moment. Now Soleil's come at them, and they hit it together. And I reckon Soleil will get it on the outside with Impertinent Charge and Gold Deck inches away and Admiral Boy. It was a thriller. Absolutely brilliant finish to the Bendigo Cup. Have a look at it again on another action replay. They've gone a bit quicker that time, and they've really gone over the line a little too quickly. But it's a bob of the head job. And the interesting thing is going to be after the photo if Soleil gets it, because Impertinent Charge who didn't have any luck at all over the last 50 or 60 metres of the race. It's going to be most interesting to see what develops after the photo. There was no speed on at all in the early stages. It was a very slowly run race.
Just might go the way of Stylight, the horse on the outside, which has come home very hard.
Judge calling for the photo, as we said. Soleil on the outside. Gauchi's already ridden 2 here today. There's Brown Bomber coming back. Admiral Boy ran a great race. He hit the front at the 250 and looked a winning chance. But Soleil down the outside with Impertinent Charge and also Gold Deck. Gold Deck ran a great race under his top weight. He fought on very strongly. Ryan Guard took over at about the 1400, and then My Tristina moved up and tackled it. There's Impertinent Charge. Gee, if it wins, it's going to be a nice old boil over. But as I said, he didn't have much luck at all in the straight, and what I'm suggesting is that if Soleil gets it and Impertinent Charge finishes second, it might be the last, not the last that we've heard of it. Gold Deck, I'm sure they've got him just on the line. Admiral Boy, he's only been beaten a neck into 4th placing. Wholesome behind those horses. Brown Bomber, he looked a chance on the turn when he moved up 3 deep. Ryan Guard, there's the finish. Fabulous finish. Soleil, Impertinent Charge, Gold Deck, Admiral Boy. Nothing in it. And the time 2:19.6. Records 2:13.4, so it gives you some idea of just how slowly they did go. And we're just waiting on the camera print. Number 9's got it, Soleil's got it, De Gauchi, so it's a treble to Darren. Magnificent ride in the fact that he didn't leave the fence until the home turn. But the horse was inclined to run in under pressure. Now Impertinent Charge is going to get second by the look of it. And Gold Deck third. 9, 10 and 1 by the look of it. They came together in Impertinent Charge and Soleil. Officially 4th Admiral Boy and 5th the Brown Bomber. So the interim dividends 285 and 90 Soleil. Impertinent Charge 490 and Gold Deck at 65. So Soleil or Soleil or Soleil or however you like to call it. Improved a lot at Flemington last start when 5th behind Cooper's Goal, was running home very strongly in the Grey Smith on Saturday. And Jeff Murphy's done a wonderful job with this horse because it was 5th at Yarra Glen before that in the intermediate. And today he's prepared it to win this, the Bendigo Cup, the Mercedes-Benz Bendigo Cup. Impertinent Charge, Jay Anster second. And 3rd Gold Deck, Mark Riley. So we just wait as these jockeys go in to weigh in.
Short head, Brian.
I've got to win it.
Short head, half
head, half head. Darren just talking to
9, 10 and 1,
Jeff Murphy.
The Bendigo Cup.
So it's going to be most interesting here. Darren rode Speciality earlier today and also Morning Minstrel. They both came with flashing runs, and he's done the same thing with Sea Lion. This.
Ian Raymond, yes. Hello.
So Gouch about to weigh in. He won the Werribee Cup on Lance Lotto and the Kyneton Cup on I'm a Redman, so it's 3 cups in succession. Gold Deck, well, I could only find 2 horses who have won the race in successive years, and he almost did it today. It was a wonderful effort. Impertinent Charge was the huge improver, unbelievable. Now let's have a listen here. I think there's a protest, and I'm not all that surprised. There is a protest. Now there's a protest second against first at this stage. We'll get to the grounds in a moment. It's about to come through. It's Brown Bomber being led away. Big black-brown horse. OK, Alan, let's go down and join you. But at this stage, there is a protest second against first. We'll get the ground shortly, but I would guess it's in the last 100 metres of the race.
All right then, Bruce, we'll come back to you very shortly. And in fact, we'll go back to you, Bruce, now and get the details of this protest.
Second against first. From the 350 to the winning post, so it's all the way down the straight. So protest there, Alan and Phil. Second against first from the 350 metre mark to the winning post. So most interesting protest after the Mercedes-Benz Bendigo Cup.
Thank you very much, Bruce McAvaney. Phil, what a surprise. It's been about 3 years since we've had a protest on the Cup here.
Sort of heard the buzz going around the crowd here because the majority would have been on Silay, but it was hard for us to tell because they were racing pretty tightly coming up the straight, but of course we're side onto them.
Well, it's going to be an interesting one because both horses come home extremely hard. In fact, as Bruce commented, number 10 Impertinent Charge was an enormous run. It was well back on the corner. Well, let's go and find out what's happening out there in the car park, and here's Anne Jones.
Well, I do. We're graced with the presence of Superman this year. I think this must be the first time for Bendigo. How are you, Superman?
Thank you very much, Anne. Very well.
Did you fly here or come by car?
I came by car, I'm afraid. I'm set to have a good drink today.
That's a bit of a disappointment. What, you can't fly if you're .05
No, I'm
over
afraid not. I have to watch where I'm driving.
And are you going to have a bet on any of the races, Superman?
I can't give you any tips at the moment.
I suppose you could go faster than any of the field, I guess.
I'm going to hold my own.
And what does Superman eat on a day like today?
He eats chicken and champagne. He's let his hair down.
That's a bit boring. I thought you might have had some fascinating sort of diet you could tell us about. And, well, anyway, Superman, it's time to go, but have a great day, and we might see you next year.
Thank you very much for talking to me, Anne.
Got Anne Jones down there in the car park with one of the great characters of racing today, and that's Superman. Well, as they went over the line in the Bendigo Cup, the numbers were 9, 10 and 1. There is a protest on. We'll be back at Bendigo right after this break.
There's only one.
Welcome back to the Bendigo Cup telecast, coming to you live from Epsom this afternoon. Bruce McAvaney joining us. Bruce, an interesting protest being fired in now.
It certainly is, Alan and Phil. I'm not surprised. I thought there would be a protest.
You mentioned something in the call, didn't you?
Yes, they've come together very closely over the last... well, the protest is from the 350. I noticed it in the last 100. It was very hard to see Impertinent Charge, actually. He was inside Silay. And I'm not surprised that there is a protest. It's going to be a most interesting one because the margin was not a lot in it on the line. And as I said, I mean, it's very difficult. I can't say exactly what I think because...
Well, you can't preempt the stewards'
No, exactly.
This is the point.
All I'll say is that I think that that if you back the second horse, then you've got a fair chance. I think it's a touch-and-go one.
Well, look, I'd just like to say something to our people back in Melbourne, that it may take a while, this protest, so if we haven't got the result by 3:30, I'd suggest we go out of the telecast and put up a super on the result.
I'll be surprised, Phil, if there is a quick decision, because it's going to be a tough one for the stewards, I feel. What a great race, though. No pace on at all, but what a marvellous finish.
All right, Bruce, thanks very much for your call this afternoon. I guess you've got to hop in the helicopter and back for the news tonight.
Looking forward to it.
Good trip.
Have a good trip.
Okay, Bruce.
Well, let's go now to an interview with Neil McLean, talking now with Lou Richards.
Lou, while the football season's having a rest, you look like you enjoy your racing.
Well, I do, and of course, this is a great course to come to. Bendigo, it's a magnificent, well, it's a great day. Well, I think they've been blessed with the weather. And, of course, my daughter lives at Bendigo, and that gives me a chance to come up here for a few days. I'll be here till possibly Sunday.
And, Lou, I believe you're a horse owner yourself.
Well, we've had horses over the years, the boys at World of Sport, Ron Casey, Bill Collins, myself and Doug Elliott, and we've got one now with Colin Hayes. Now, don't ask me the name of it because I can't think of it, but it raced in Adelaide. It ran second its last start and won the start before, and we hope to bring it over here. So we won't tell you the name now in case they knock the odds off on us, but it'll be okay, I think.
Well, Lou, thanks for joining us today.
It's a pleasure.
Lou Richards talking there on Bendigo Cup Day, and of course 1 week away, Philip, we all combined again for the telecast of the Ballarat Turf Club Cup meeting.
Yeah, 2:30 until 3:30. That's always a great meeting, the Ballarat Cup. I'm looking forward to going down there, and when you say we'll all be combining again, that's the Ballarat TV station, Bendigo, and ours in Melbourne.
Yes,
looking forward to it.
It's always a great day, and of course this is all part of the great action. Let's go to an interview now with Lynn Boyes.
Well, it is nice to see you at a Bendigo Cup here. But two horses that come to mind that you've got, Diwali, the great steeplechaser. What's happening there?
He's at home in the paddock at the moment with a rather large leg. We're hoping to perhaps get him back, but it looks a bit doubtful at the moment.
How old's he now, Lynn?
He's 11.
Yeah.
So he still only had 40 starts. So if he comes back, he could still give him a bit of a fright.
Another one that comes to mind that you've got is Irish Lord, one you had with Tommy Hughes.
Yeah, he was, well, we had been setting him for the Queen Elizabeth Stakes last week, and unfortunately looks like he's done a suspensory. He was due to run here today as well, but his preparation's right out of tune now.
How bad is it?
Well, we don't know yet. I'm still waiting to hear from Tommy Hughes as to what his future holds. It may not look too good.
Len, what do you like in the Cup?
I like Reingard. I think Bobby Skelton will be pretty keen today to get a second one on the board in 2 days, and it was a bit disappointing last week in the Queen Elizabeth Stakes, but a good run in the Werribee Cups.
Welcome back to the Cup telecast, and the protest here on the Bendigo Cup is still on. So the longer it goes, Phil Gibbs, the bigger chance for impertinence on.
Yeah, well, I was interested in what Bruce had to say there, and Bruce has a feeling that impertinent charge might get it, but very, very difficult when it's so close, and when they were so close coming up the straight. It's a decision for the stewards, but as I said to Melbourne, if they want to go out of the telecast, we can give the result down the line just as soon as it comes to hand, because it will take a time, I think.
Well, it's a big decision, Phil. Impertinent charge is trained on the track here at Bendigo, and of course Jeff Murphy will be hoping that Silo wins it. He's hoping to take it to Perth, and it'll be the third win of the day for Darren Gauci. Well,
yes, a big run though by impertinent charge, wasn't it? Huge run.
It was a big run, as Bruce called. And let's have a look at another of the interviews recorded here this afternoon with the president of the Bendigo Jockey Club, Jock Granter.
Mr. Granter, as president of the Bendigo Jockey Club, are you pleased with the way things have gone today?
Yes, everything appears to be going 100%, and we're looking forward to a magnificent Cup Carnival. We thank our sponsors, Mercedes and Bendigo Motor Company, and also the people who have supported the club over the years and who are returning today with all the magnificent tents and picnic area already packed.
Bendigo Cup Day is always a good family day out, isn't it?
It is a good family day, and the people, as I say, they return year after year and support the club, and we thank them for it.
Mr. Granter, continued success with the Bendigo Jockey Club.
Yes, the Bendigo Jockey Club is having continued success, and we trust that we will continue to do so, because it's a very important part of Bendigo, the Bendigo Cup Carnival, and it brings a lot of people to the area.
Congratulations to the committee and to yourself.
Thank you, Neil.
Well, a very happy Jock Granter there, and Philip, he's had a big job today. He's got a lot of important people in town.
Well, he's got a big job all the time, Jock. He's been a very busy man over the years as a politician and as the chief up here at Bendigo. It's no mean feat, you know, to put on a big provincial cup meeting like this, and I must take the opportunity of congratulating the committee. They're one of the most forward committees in provincial areas as far as promoting their Cup Carnival is concerned.
Well, joining us now is Neil McLean. Neil, you've been down the car park. What's the atmosphere like down there on Cup Day?
Well, Bezzo, the atmosphere is pretty exciting down there always, and of course the facilities provided by the Bendigo Jockey Club are always first class, and one of the great things about being down there is that you're out of the way of most of the people who can in fact do what you want. But hanging out waiting for a protest makes things a little bit hard for everybody because they're on edge, and it was a close finish.
How often, Neil, do you reckon those people down there having a meal out of the boot would have a meal out of their boot during the year?
Probably the Bendigo Cup, the Carden Cup and the Melbourne Cup, I'd say so.
That's about it. I was talking to Peter Jansen the other day, you know, and he's saying, have a look at it, fair dinkum. There they are eating out of the boot. Now, would they do it at home?
No, they wouldn't. Actually, it's amazing.
It's a lot of fun.
It's amazing the way some people set themselves up here. We saw a little lady before. She had a table and she had a nice little cloth and had her seats and whatever, and it just looked like just straight at home. And there's some lovely ladies.
Well set up there.
Yes, too.
Well, the temperature up here in Bendigo today be in the high 20s, and not a cloud in the sky, so it's really a great day to be out in the sun.
So some of the